If you're planning on visiting Cedar Point for the 2025 season, then you definitely came to the right place. You want to watch this video all the way to the very end because we'll help you plan your trip from the very beginning, dates and times, all the way to rides and attractions and anything that's new for the 2025 season. So definitely stay tuned to the end of this video. Welcome to this channel. We are Beach Cliff Studios. We do amusement park and roller coaster content just like this. So if that's what you're into, make sure you give a sub. And as always, like, comment, and a huge shout out to all our channel members. All these people do so much for the channel, so a huge thank you to all of you guys. Now, what you clicked on this video for, into Cedar Point, the complete guide. We're going to start off talking about their operating calendar and some hours. Quick note, we're not going to go over every single detail.
Yeah, it's mostly just the highlights of everything. We're not going over every time and date of literally everything, obviously.
Yeah, so if there's anything specific that we don't go over, feel free to leave a comment asking a question down below. We'll try to answer as many things as possible. So anyway, into this video, their operating season is from Saturday, May 3rd until Saturday, November 1st. We are once again, for the second year in a row, dipping into November for their operating schedule. So it always feels like you get a little bit of extra Cedar Point on those years. One thing to notate is that a few years ago, they started doing at the beginning of May, I think the first couple weeks that they're open in May, they're closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So keep that in mind if you're planning a trip midweek. They don't start 7-day-a-week operations until May 20th. So I believe that's a Tuesday. So that will be the first Tuesday that they are open. And then they are open 7 days a week until Labor Day. And after Labor Day is when they start different season, mostly their Halloween season. And another thing that is not all year long is 10 p.m. closings. Early in the season, you're going to get closings, especially during the week. They're going to close at 8 p.m. And those are always like, I don't know. I always find them depressing. Like, you're at Cedar Point and it's like 7:30 and you're like, oh man, the park's like closing in a half an hour.
Yeah, anytime a park closes, earlier than like, I don't know, 10 or something, whenever it's still not super dark out and it's always, and the park's closing, it always kind of sucks.
But if getting to the park when they're open later, open till 10 p.m., then you're going to want to visit after June 16th or June 16th on, because that is when they start just all your the 7-day-a-week 10 p.m. closings. So mark that date on your calendar. That is, I think that's a Monday, June 16th. So that covers your dates and times. If you're planning the trip, you need to know what days they're open and what times they're open to plan your trip. Now the best time to go. You have all the way from May through November, so now you got to pick. If you're only going once, maybe twice or something, you need to figure out the best time to go, and we can't tell you that. All we can tell you is what's going on the different parts of the year. I will tell you during May, and especially like during the week, maybe like a Monday or Thursday or whatever, it probably won't be as busy as like mid-June or July or something like that, whenever all schools are out. But you're not going to get the festivals. You're not going to get the late closings. You're not going to get the water park open. You're not going to get a lot of the entertainment if that's what you're into. So what you're going to get is the water park doesn't open until Memorial Day weekend. So that's the end of May. And as far as entertainment, they cut back their entertainment budget considerably. Right now, they basically have some what they call bands in residence, and they're going to be at different spots throughout the park, like I think near like the farmhouse and then on the beach. And then also at the theater up in the front, a show called Class of 99. And they had that show last year. I'm not sure if it's the exact same thing. I think it might be a little bit different. But if shows are your thing, that runs from June 7th until July 31st. So in that time period is when you're going to get the most entertainment, at least just because Halloween has a lot of entertainment as well. But as far as summertime entertainment, that is going to be your best time for entertainment.
Yeah, so it's really just different times. It just depends on what you like, you know. If you're going specifically to ride roller coasters and rides and you don't care about shows and all that, and you just want like lesser lines, there's better times to go for that. Or if you want to if you're fine with longer lines for rides and you want to see shows, you know, it all just varies on just
your personal preference and stuff like that. So also the beach, like they're on the beach, so it's a lot warmer in the middle of summer, obviously. Right. So you'll get to take advantage of stuff like that because they do have rentals of jet skis and stuff like that you can do if you're there for multiple days. So all sorts of things for you to consider. Next, you're going to want to get into the park. And you basically have 4 different options to get into the park. Well, 5 if you try to like sneak in or something like that. But we don't recommend sneaking into Cedar Point. But you can get a daily ticket, which online is only $50, which I just want to talk about how insane $50 is. Because you go to any other park, you go to Kennywood, you go to a Busch Gardens, either one. You go to almost any park, and it's way more than $50.
Most parks around the world, are more than $50. And, you know, especially for the size that Cedar Point is, like, even if it was a smaller park, it would still be cheaper than a lot of parks. But for being one of the biggest parks in the world and only being $50 a ticket, that is unbelievably cheap.
Yeah, a little bit too cheap. I mean, they could probably raise those prices. Like, I'm not. Don't kill us in the comments, but I mean, they honestly probably could. But so you could get a daily ticket, or you can get one of 3 passes. Now they have the summer pass to start off. Summer pass is exactly what it sounds like. It's only good during the summer. So Labor Day is whenever it cuts off. And it gets you admission to the park and parking and 10% discount on food and merchandise, stuff like that. But if you want Halloween weekends, if you want access to the water park, I think those are the 2 big things that the Gold Pass gives you. But the Summer Pass is, I took my notes right here. So Summer Pass.
$115.
Yep. And these are current prices. They're always cheaper whenever they first go on sale, but everything, all the prices that we list is as of right now. Gold Pass, $150, gets you all year long, all the way to the end of Halloween weekends, and gets you into the water park as well. So if you want to take advantage of that stuff, then you're going to want to get the Gold Pass. Or there's the Prestige Pass. For $350, you get preferred parking, which is up closer to the front entrance, because sometimes you pull into that parking lot and like you're parking way in the back or whatever. So if you don't want to walk and deal with that, you get preferred parking. You get 1 free single-use fast lane for the day, so that means you're not getting a wristband.
Yeah, you can only use it for 1 ride once per day.
But, I mean, maybe you go in and you're fine with waiting in a few lines, and then there's that 1 ride that you want to hit that day. So that's perfect for some people. And you get access to their VIP lounge. This is over by Millennium. They have free chips. They have drinks back there, which are not free. They have couches. It's just tons of people sleeping.
Yeah, it looks like an airport when you walk around and see a bunch of people sleeping. But yeah, you have bunch of couches, and it's under this big tent. You have like TVs and stuff. It's just a place where you can relax. And, you know, after walking around a lot of people like to lay down or fall asleep. So yeah, it's just a nice place to relax. And you do get that with the Prestige Pass.
And you also get your own entrance for 2 hours at the beginning of the day. This, sometimes you'll see a huge line on all the other lines, like just where you're probably going to wait like 15 minutes or so just to get in the park. And the Prestige Pass entrance has like 2 people in it or something like that. Plus you get early entry. Now, early entry at Cedar Point is 1 hour before the park opens every single day that the park is open.
Yeah, a lot of people will always ask, like, throughout the year, is there early entry for Cedar Point this day? There's always early entry. If Cedar Point is open that day, there is early entry.
Now, early entry this coming up season, what is it? It's Gatekeeper, I believe, Iron Dragon, Millennium.
Wild Mouse again?
No, not Wild Mouse.
All right.
Nope. And I think Antique Cars and Cedar Downs. I'm going off the top of my head trying to remember what the early entry lineup is so you can get in the park and get started early on some of those rides and roller coasters.
And Fastlane is not good for early entry because some parks like Kings Island, for example, you can use Fastlane for early entry. Cedar Point, you cannot use Fastlane for early entry. You got to wait until the park opens.
But there is another way to get early entry to Cedar Point, and that is by staying at one of their resorts. And that is Sawmill Creek, Breakers Express, and Castaway Bay, and then their cabins.
Oh yeah,
their cabins.
The cabins and Breakers is on the peninsula, so you can just walk from there to the park. Castaway Bay and Express.
Breakers Express.
Those are off the peninsula. So you would have to drive to the park, but it's only like a few minutes. And
those are right at the end of the peninsula.
Yeah. Castaway Bay is kind of similar to like a Great Wolf Lodge kind of thing, where it's a water park resort. And then Breakers Express is just a normal hotel.
And Sawmill Creek is off the peninsula as well, and it's a little bit further down.
Yeah,
down the road.
That's more separated, and that has like a big golf resort and stuff.
But if you're a Gold Pass holder and you want to get early entry, there is a way you can add the add-on All Park Passport, which gets you into all the parks in the Six Flags chain. So even if you aren't planning on going to other parks, if you want to spend the extra, I think $8,500, whatever it is right at this moment, but if you want to spend that, add that onto your Gold Pass. That does get you early entry.
That's what we get. Not for early entry because we go to a lot of different parks. Definitely, obviously recommended if you want to go to a lot of different Six Flags parks.
And next up, I think we'll probably talk about some of the special events that they have at the park. Now, they used to have a lot more. They've kind of toned it down. So this year, what they're doing is June 6th, which is a Friday. They're doing their, I guess it used to be kind of considered a coaster enthusiast event, Coaster Mania, because you used to have to be a member to a coaster club to get into it. They dropped that a few years ago.
Yeah, now it's more of just like anybody who goes to Cedar Point a lot, plus some enthusiasts will go to Coaster Mania.
So Coaster Mania, they have a thing called ERT, extended ride time, exclusive ride time, whatever it is that you want to put whatever that E stands for. But you get times to ride the roller coasters that the regular general public cannot ride these rides. You get a boat ride, weather permitting, because last year we went to Coaster Mania. No boat ride because it was too windy. They give you lunch. The park is open later for you.
Later and earlier.
Yeah.
Because we were at the park for like
16 hours.
16 hours in one day.
Yeah.
That is insane. So yeah, if you want to have a really, really long day at Cedar Point, Coaster Mania is open early, open late.
And they also do Light Up the Point, which is July 4th and 5th. So 2 days they do fireworks at night. And then they have Boardwalk Nights. That is July 18th to August 17th, excluding Tuesdays. Now, this was a lot of fun. They used to have what they called Cedar Point Nights, right? Is what they called it. And they would have a bunch of stuff on the beach, music and games and a bunch of extra chairs and stuff like that. And used to really enjoy that event.
Fun. It's a very like summer-like event. It was a lot of people just like, they had like a DJ on the beach and people dancing and stuff, but
they got rid of that, and now they have Boardwalk Nights, and it's more of taking you back to an old traditional boardwalk.
They have very different than Cedar Point Nights.
Yes. So they'll have like high divers. They'll have one of those like wheels, like that like spins around, and like the guys like doing death-defying feats on it. They have all sorts of entertainment stuff like that. They have kites on the beach. At least they did last year. I don't know if they're changing anything from last year, if they're just going to run it back and pretty much do what they did last year. So anywhere Boardwalk Nights, if you're in the park in between mid-July to mid-August, then you will have the benefit of getting that. And then, of course, they have Halloween weekends. That begins September 11th and goes until November 1st. And this is open Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So that is always one of the most popular events of the year. Saturdays, Halloween weekends are some of the only days that Cedar Point actually sells out.
Yeah. Halloween weekends is our Halloween event. They have haunted houses. They have outdoor haunted mazes. They have like a lot of actors on the pathways and stuff like that. And yeah, it will get extremely, extremely busy. And for whatever reason, I mean, I guess because they're open less, so more people are going. More people are going on
the days that they're actually open.
They're actually open. Yeah. So, yeah, a Saturday, Halloween weekends could sell out, which is insane.
Anyway, I think we got through all of that stuff. Now, new for 2025, there's a couple big things, like a couple roller coasters. One roller coaster, brand new, and another roller coaster, not so brand new. Let's first get into the not so brand new roller coaster. That is Top Thrill 2. Everything that we've seen and read is that testing by the state, which is called, like if you hear a ride being commissioned, if you ever hear people say anything like that, that means that the state in Ohio, it's the Department of Agriculture, they come in and they watch over a ride and they do certification of that ride to make sure it's safe for the general public to ride. So that began on April 10th. So that's a very good sign. That means that they went through all their tests already in-house and thought that it was good enough to bring in the state, because they're not going to pay to have the state come out to certify a ride that they don't feel is ready to go.
Yeah. So basically what we're saying is that we're pretty confident that it's going to be opening day, which I think a lot of people are kind of thinking now, and I think it's what Cedar Point's obviously hopeful for. So should be opening day, and then, everyone that didn't get to ride it last year will hopefully get to ride it.
And we also have Siren's Curse. We are very excited about this because this is the very first Vekoma tilt coaster that's going to be built in the United States. Well, not built. It's going to be the very first one that's open, because down at Coda Land in Austin, Texas, they have a ride called Circuit Breaker that I think track work is already done, but for some reason I don't think it's set to open.
I saw it. I got a picture of it, and I saw the track there. So yeah, it was. It looks almost complete.
But I don't think, from what I heard, I don't think it's supposed to be open until December for some reason. So I don't know what's
going on with that. But either way, Siren's Curse will be the first tilt coaster that's open in the United States.
And only the second one ever opened, because the first one was opened back in 2002?
I think so, yeah.
In Taiwan?
Yeah. And that's an old gen tilt coaster, so very different than what Siren's Curse and these new gen Vekomas will be like.
But this is exciting for many reasons, because people in the enthusiast community that wanted to ride a tilt coaster that never got over to Taiwan, which is probably most people, are going to probably be coming to Cedar Point in order to ride this thing. Because you can say, like, a tilt coaster, kind of like when dive coasters first were invented, they were a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
It's like you would dive and then do, like, a turn and maybe, like, an inversion.
Basically, the whole...
It'll be over.
Yeah, the dive coasters is one-trick pony. You dive, that's the main element, and then everything else is just kind of filler, for the sake of having more ride. With Siren's Curse and these new gen Vekoma tilt coasters, they have the tilt, which is obviously really cool, but then the rest of the layout is really strong and looks really good. So it's not just like a one-trick pony, it's not like gimmicky, it's going to be a genuinely very good, strong roller coaster.
And like anything else that's new at the park, I think they're going to be having electronic screens.
They're getting rid of that Panda Express or whatever. They're putting something in there.
Yeah, Panda Express is gone. The Fryer, the place that you could get hand-cut fries at the park.
The one that was by Gemini, right?
Yep, that is changing. It's becoming like an not indoor seating, but where you go in and it's going to be more efficient instead of waiting in that big long line to get your hand cut fries. And hopefully they have plenty of vinegar because
they never had vinegar.
last Halloween weekend's always out of vinegar.
Yeah.
And they're going to have electronic screens throughout the park that's going to have like wait times.
Oh, are they? That's nice.
Yeah, stuff like that.
A lot of parks have a lot of electronic screens, and they Cedar Point, I mean, they have, I don't know.
They have no electronic screens.
Yeah, I guess they don't. So yeah, that's definitely a upgrade that they needed to have for a while now.
Yeah, so they'll have that. And other than that, I think we've covered everything. Like we said earlier, if there are any specific questions about any of this stuff or anything that you want to know that we didn't cover, feel free to ask. And if we can answer it, we will definitely try to get to it. So thank you for watching this video. Like we said earlier, make sure you subscribe because trying to build that subscriber count and push out this channel to as many people as possible. So that is it from us here at Beach Cliff Studios, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.